My name is Gavin Evans, and this is my review of Kung Fu Panda 3. And this review will have spoilers, so there's your warning. But this movie came out in January 2016, and that was a very bad sign. So when I watched this movie for the first time, I had very low expectations, but I was surprised at just how much I loved this movie. And yes, it's not as good as the first two, but I still think it's better than given credit for. So let's begin talking about the cast. And Jack Black continues to give a great performance as Paul. He brings plenty of personality and charm to the movie, and he carries it incredibly well. Bryan Cranston, I thought, was a welcome addition. There is layers to his character, and he sells you on every emotional beat he needed to. Those scenes where he talks about how he lost his wife and son in the same day do have weight, and he really showcased that. James Hong, I think, continues to bring plenty of personality to this character. I thought he did a very good job. Dustin Hoffman, I just love his performance as Shifu. He is so entertaining and he's just so wonderful, and this movie is no exception. J.K. Simmons as Kai. I'll talk more about the villain soon, but I think he did a really great job. He really sells you on the menace behind this character, and he just has a presence to him. Angelina Jolie doesn't really seem to talk all too much in this movie, but I still thought she did a perfectly fine job. Randall Duke Kim is great. It's nice to see him back as Oogway, even if it's just for a little bit. And Kate Hudson is in this movie, which I find odd because it's like a supporting character, and I was just surprised that it's someone with a recognizable name. But anyways, the cast does do a real good job. And let's begin talking about Kai because he is my favorite part of this movie. I think he is a great villain. I love his backstory between him and Oogway, and the fact they were like brothers and he felt betrayed by Oogway's desire to do good. I thought that made him very interesting. I like the running gag of how nobody knows who he is. He's just this guy who's been forgotten. But my favorite part of his character is the supernatural element. Like, if you know me, you know I love creepy spiritual stuff, and the fact that he takes these kung fu masters and takes their spirit and then wears them like a piece of jewelry, and then he can bring them back as like his slaves. There's something so unnerving about that, and it really stands out. I also think the musical score by Hans Zimmer is just phenomenal here. He continues to do a great job, and the fact that he never got nominated for any of these movies is a crime. It is. Like, what? In 2016, what got nominated for Best Original Score? La La Land, rightfully so. Moonlight, really? Jackie, I think, really? Like, come on. This movie should have gotten nominated. The music is just so good. It adds emotion, it adds excitement, and I know Kai's theme sounds like an Imagine Dragons song, but it is still badass. I love the piece Legend of Kai. I love the Spirit Realm, the Dragon Warrior. The music just continues to deliver in this franchise, but I also think the animation is a step up. Like, The typical stuff still looks great, but there's lots of style here, and especially in the spirit realm, it's just gorgeous to look at. Like, they really went above and beyond. I also think the action is very exciting. That one scene of Tigress and Monkey and Viper and Shifu fighting Kai is just so well choreographed. And that scene of Shifu about to attack Kai and he sees he's wearing Uguay around his neck just gives me chills every single time. And when he destroys the Jade Palace, it has weight behind it. So, yes, so that's a great element, and I do think the story is really good. Like, the first movie is Paul doesn't know Kung Fu, and then by the end, he knows Kung Fu. The second movie is Paul doesn't have inner peace, and by the end of it, he has inner peace. And this movie is Paul doesn't have chi, but by the end of this movie, he masters it. So it can feel a little rinse and repeat, especially with Paul asking the question, who am I? Like, I thought that was settled in the second movie. But what really stands out about it and what allows me to still really like it is the fact that Paul doesn't master chi by himself. It's through his family, through his friends, through this community. And it's about coming together as one. And I think that is what really works about this movie. I also do like the entire Panda Village bit, and Paul finding his dad, and Paul becoming a teacher. Like, I would have liked a bit more of that, actually. But it's maybe a bit messy, can feel repetitive, but by the end, I was won over. I also do love the climax, like when Kai tosses Paul and he's just bruised up and he's just like, I'm sorry guys, one. And Kai's just like, ha, you thought you could stop me. And then Paul jumps on him and he goes like, skadoosh, and sends them both back to the spirit realm. I get chills every single time. Like, make no mistake, Paul killed himself in that moment. He was ready to die to protect his friends. And I just think that's really powerful. And the fact that they find a way to save him, very satisfying. It really is. And there is some nice profound moments as well. I love Shifu's line to Paul early on that if you only do what you can do, then you'll never be more than what you are now. And I love the one scene between Paul's two dads. Well, he's just like, I thought you were trying to take me away from Paul, but now I realize that having you around doesn't mean less for me, it means more from Paul. And it still has those nice heartfelt moments. The humor can feel a little forced, and I think it's because the first two movies, the humor almost always comes from Paul. But here, it feels like everybody is joking around a bit too much. Like, at times it feels out of character for the Furious Five, especially when Mantis is like, the power of the antenna, or whatever. So, yeah, the humor, the story can be a tad bit messy, but I do think everything comes together by the end. I do think it hits those emotional beats it needed to. The action is very exciting. The animation is beautiful. The music is great. The villain is fantastic. I love the creepy supernatural stuff. And yeah, it's a movie I've watched plenty of times, and I'll watch plenty of more times. So I'm giving Kung Fu Panda 3 an 8 out of 10. Should also be said though that I am the one person on the planet who actually liked Kung Fu Panda 4, but anyways, Kung Fu Panda 3, have you seen it? What did you think about it? Let me know in the comments down below. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe. Stay tuned for more videos soon. And Gavin out.